The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Galactic Empire's scout ship, the Stargazer. Captain Zorn, a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms, stood on the bridge. His large black eyes scanned the screens in front of him. "Sir, we found something," said his second-in-command, Vex. "A new solar system, just at the edge of our long-range scanners." Zorn's antenna twitched with excitement. "Show me," he ordered. A holographic image appeared, showing a yellow star with several planets orbiting it. Zorn's eyes fixed on a small blue planet. "Zoom in on that one," he said, pointing with one of his 4 hands. As the image grew larger, Zorn and his crew saw continents, oceans, and swirling white clouds. But what caught their attention were the tiny, twinkling lights spread across the landmasses. "Life signs?" Zorn asked. Vex nodded. "Yes, sir. And not just any life. We're detecting technology. This planet has a civilization." Zorn's mouth stretched into what passed for a smile in his species. "Excellent. The Emperor will be pleased. We may have found a new world to add to our glorious empire." The crew of the Stargazer spent the next few days studying the planet from afar. They watched the beings on the surface, creatures that walked on 2 legs and had only 2 arms. These creatures, which they learned called themselves humans, seemed to be everywhere on the planet. "They're so primitive," Vex said, watching videos of human vehicles moving on the ground. "Look, they haven't even mastered space travel yet." Zorn nodded. "And they're always fighting each other. Look at all these different countries and armies." The more they watched, the more confident they became. These humans seemed weak and divided. They would be easy to conquer. Zorn sent a message back to the Empire's capital. "We have found a new planet ripe for conquest. The beings there are primitive and constantly at war with each other. They will not be able to stand against our might." The response came quickly. "Excellent work, Captain Zorn. We are sending a small invasion force to test their defenses. You will guide them to the planet." Zorn felt proud. This would surely earn him a promotion. Days later, a small fleet of Empire warships arrived. Zorn briefed their commander, General Kraz, a fearsome warrior known throughout the galaxy. "These humans will not know what hit them," Kraz boasted. "We'll have this planet under our control before they can even blink." The invasion force moved towards the blue planet, cloaked to avoid detection. They planned to strike fast and hard, showing the humans the power of the Galactic Empire. But as they entered the planet's atmosphere, something strange happened. The Empire's ships started to malfunction. Alarms blared across the fleet. "What's happening?" Kraz yelled. Before anyone could answer, half of the fleet's ships suddenly exploded. The rest spun out of control, their systems completely dead. Zorn watched in horror from the Stargazer. In just minutes, the entire invasion force was gone. Destroyed or disabled by some unseen force. "Impossible," he whispered. As the Stargazer retreated, Zorn's mind raced. How could this have happened? These humans were supposed to be primitive, yet they had just wiped out an Empire invasion force without even showing themselves. Zorn realized, with a chill running down his spine, that they had made a terrible mistake. They had underestimated these humans, and now the humans knew they were here. As he prepared to report this disaster to his superiors, Zorn couldn't shake a frightening thought. Perhaps they hadn't found a new world to conquer. Perhaps they had awakened a sleeping giant. The Galactic Empire had faced many foes in its long history. But as Zorn looked back at the blue planet growing smaller in the distance, he had a feeling that these humans might be unlike anything they had ever encountered before. The war had begun, and for the first time in centuries, the Galactic Empire felt fear. Back in the heart of the Galactic Empire, chaos reigned. The loss of an entire invasion fleet was unheard of. The Emperor, a massive creature with tentacles and glowing eyes, sat on his crystal throne, surrounded by his advisors. "How is this possible?" the Emperor roared. "These humans were supposed to be primitive." General Click, the head of military intelligence, stepped forward. His exoskeleton clicked nervously as he spoke. "Your Majesty, we may have made a mistake in our analysis." The Emperor's eyes flashed dangerously. "Explain." Click brought up a holographic display. "We focused on their visible technology, their ground vehicles, their primitive aircraft. But we missed something crucial." The display showed images of Earth's computers, satellites, and hidden military bases. "The humans are masters of deception. They have technology far more advanced than we initially thought." Meanwhile, on Earth, the nations of the world were in an uproar. The destruction of the alien fleet had been impossible to hide. Videos of burning spacecraft falling from the sky flooded the internet. In an emergency meeting of the United Nations, world leaders gathered to discuss this new threat. "We are not alone," the Secretary General announced, her voice grave. "And we are under attack." For the first time in human history, all nations agreed on one thing: Earth needed to unite or face extinction. In secret facilities around the world, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly. They had captured some of the alien technology from the crashed ships. Now they raced to understand and reverse engineer it. Dr. Sarah Chen, a brilliant physicist, made a breakthrough. "Look at this," she said to her team, pointing at a complex diagram. "Their faster-than-light drives work on principles we've only theorized about. But we can build this." As humans prepared for war, the Galactic Empire continued to underestimate them. The Emperor refused to believe that such a young species could be a real threat. "Send more scouts," he ordered. "Find their weaknesses. We will crush these humans and add their world to our empire." But the Empire's scouts found Earth's defenses growing stronger by the day. Powerful energy shields now surrounded major cities. Advanced weapon systems, a mix of human ingenuity and alien technologies, stood ready. In orbit, humans had begun building their first real spaceships. They were small and crude compared to the Empire's vast fleets, but they were a start. Admiral Jane Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the ESS Defender, Earth's first starship. She looked at her crew, a mix of nationalities all working together. "We've come a long way in a short time," she said, "but our real test is yet to come." Back on the Empire's capital world, a lone voice of reason spoke up. Zira, a young analyst, had been studying human history. "We're making a terrible mistake," she told her superiors. "These humans, their whole history is full of wars. They advance fastest when they're threatened. And now we've given them the biggest threat they've ever faced." Her warnings fell on deaf ears. The Empire, confident in its size and power, couldn't imagine losing to a single primitive world. As both sides prepared for the coming conflict, the fate of Earth and the future of the galaxy hung in the balance. The Empire thought it was dealing with primitive beings, but humanity was about to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. The stage was set for a war unlike any the Galactic Empire had ever fought, and despite the Empire's vast size and advanced technology, for the first time in millennia, the outcome was far from certain. The United Earth government, formed in response to the alien threat, had made a bold decision. They would send a diplomat to the heart of the Galactic Empire. His mission: to warn the Empire to leave Earth alone. Ambassador Jack Harper stood before a mirror, adjusting his suit. He was an ordinary man thrust into an extraordinary situation. "I never thought I'd be the first human to visit an alien world," he muttered to himself. The ship that would take him, the ESS Emissary, was Earth's most advanced vessel. Built using reverse-engineered alien tech, it could match the speed of Empire ships. As the emissary prepared for launch, Admiral Rodriguez gave Harper final instructions. "Remember, Ambassador, show strength. We're not begging for peace. We're warning them of the consequences of war." Harper nodded, his face serious. "I understand, Admiral. I won't let Earth down." The journey to the Empire's capital took several weeks. Harper spent the time studying alien cultures and practicing his speech. Finally, they arrived. The Empire's capital planet was a sight to behold. Massive cities covered its surface, with ships of all sizes buzzing around like bees. The emissary was directed to a huge space station orbiting the planet. As Harper stepped off his ship, he found himself face to face with aliens of all shapes and sizes. Some looked almost human, others were completely foreign. All of them stared at him with a mix of curiosity and disdain. An alien official, tall and thin with gray skin, approached Harper. "I am Zix, your liaison. The Emperor has agreed to hear your message, human. Follow me." Harper was led through grand corridors, past heavily armed guards, and into a massive throne room. The Emperor, a terrifying sight with his tentacles and glowing eyes, loomed over everything. "Speak, human." The Emperor's voice boomed. "Why have you come to our glorious empire?" Harper took a deep breath and began. "I come with a message from Earth. We know of your failed invasion. We know you plan to try again. I'm here to warn you. Don't." Murmurs ran through the assembled aliens. The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "You dare threaten us? We are the Galactic Empire. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. And yet you failed to conquer ours," Harper replied calmly. "What you've seen of our defenses is just the beginning. Every day, we grow stronger. We take your technology and improve it. We prepare for war in ways you can't imagine." He continued, his voice growing stronger. "Humanity has a long history of war amongst ourselves. Now, for the first time, we are united against a common enemy. You don't want us as your enemy." The Emperor laughed. A chilling sound. "Your bravery is admirable, human, but it is misplaced. We will crush your little world and add it to our empire." Harper's face hardened. "Then you leave us no choice. We warned you to run. Remember that when the time comes." With that, Harper turned and walked out, leaving the Emperor and his court in shocked silence. No one had ever dared speak to them like that before. As Harper boarded the emissary for the journey home, he felt a mix of fear and pride. He had delivered Earth's message. Now it was time to prepare for the coming storm. Back on Earth, leaders received Harper's report with grim determination. The Empire had not heeded their warning. War was coming. "Activate all defense systems," Admiral Rodriguez ordered. "Begin mass production of our new ships, and send word to all our people. The greatest fight in human history is about to begin." As the people of Earth steeled themselves for war, a sense of unity and purpose swept the planet. They had faced extinction before, from their own wars and environmental disasters. They had always survived. Now, they would face this new threat the same way they had faced all others. Together, with all the strength, courage, and ingenuity that humanity could muster. The Empire thought they were dealing with primitives. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The Galactic Empire's massive invasion fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system. Thousands of ships, each bigger than the largest human cities, moved towards Earth. The Emperor himself led the attack from his flagship, confident in an easy victory. On Earth, alarms blared. Admiral Rodriguez stood in the United Earth Defense Command Center, surrounded by screens showing the approaching armada. "This is it," she said, her voice calm despite the tension. "All defense systems, activate. Launch our fleet." Across the planet, hidden silos opened. Sleek, advanced ships, built with a mix of human innovation and reverse-engineered alien tech, soared into the sky. The human fleet was smaller, but each ship was packed with surprises. As the two fleets approached each other, the Emperor's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Surrender now, humans, and your deaths will be quick." Rodriguez smiled grimly. "All ships, initiate Operation Trojan Horse." Suddenly, the human fleet scattered. The Empire ships, confused, tried to follow. Then, without warning, hundreds of asteroids near the Empire fleet exploded. Hidden inside each were antimatter bombs and EMP devices. The explosions ripped through the Empire's front lines. Massive ships, their shields overloaded, broke apart. Others drifted powerless, their systems fried by the EMPs. What is happening? The Emperor roared, watching a third of his fleet disappear in moments. The human fleet regrouped and charged. Their ships, smaller and more agile, darted between the larger Empire vessels. They fired strange weapons that ignored shields, cutting through hulls like paper. On one human ship, Captain Yuki Tanaka grinned as she outmaneuvered another Empire cruiser. "You may be bigger," she said, "but we're smarter and faster." The Empire tried to regroup, but the humans kept changing tactics. One moment, they were using swarm tactics. The next, they were employing complex formations the Empire had never seen. "Impossible," muttered the Empire's fleet commander. "How can they be so advanced? They were primitives just months ago." What the Empire didn't know was that Earth's greatest minds had been working nonstop. They had not only mastered alien tech, but improved upon it. AI systems predicted Empire tactics faster than any organic mind could. Quantum computers calculated impossibly complex battle strategies in seconds. As the battle raged, Earth itself unveiled its defenses. Massive ion cannons, hidden beneath the oceans, fired beams that speared Empire ships. Networks of satellites created gravity wells, trapping enemy vessels. The Emperor watched in horror as his invincible armada was being decimated. "Retreat," he finally ordered. "Back to Empire space." As the remains of the Empire fleet fled, cheers erupted across Earth and its ships. They had done it. They had faced the galaxy's greatest power and won. Admiral Rodriguez addressed the planet. "People of Earth, we have won this battle. But the war is far from over. The Empire will be back, and we must be ready." In his flagship, nursing his wounded pride, the Emperor seethed with rage. "I underestimated these humans," he growled. "It will not happen again. Prepare the entire Empire for war. We will crush these upstarts once and for all." As news of the Empire's defeat spread, other alien races took notice. Some saw humans as a potential ally against the Empire's tyranny. Others viewed them as a new threat. Earth had announced its presence to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. The age of human isolation was over. Now, the real challenges would begin. Back on Earth, as cleanup and repairs began, there was a mix of celebration and grim determination. They had bloodied the Empire's nose, but everyone knew the real fight was just beginning. Humanity had shown what it could do when united against a common threat. Now, they would need every ounce of that unity, innovation, and courage for the trials ahead. The galaxy watched and waited, wondering, what would these surprising humans do next? 3 months after their victory against the Empire's invasion, Earth was buzzing with activity. The United Earth government had made a bold decision. It was time to take the fight to the Empire. Admiral Rodriguez stood before the United Earth Council, outlining the plan. "We can't wait for them to attack again. We need to strike first, show the galaxy that humans are a force to be reckoned with." The plan was ambitious. Earth would send its fleet, now twice as large, to attack key Empire outposts. Their goal: to weaken the Empire and gain allies among other alien races. As Earth prepared, the Empire was in chaos. The Emperor raged at his advisors. "How could we lose to these primitives? I want answers." Zira, the young analyst who had warned about underestimating humans, spoke up. "Your Majesty, I studied their history. Humans advance fastest when faced with challenges. Our attack united them like never before." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "You dare defend these upstarts?" "No, Your Majesty," Zira said calmly. "I'm trying to help us understand them. If we don't, we'll keep losing." Before the Emperor could respond, alarms blared. A guard rushed in. "Your Majesty, we're under attack. Human ships have appeared in multiple sectors." The Earth fleet, using advanced stealth technology, had snuck deep into Empire space. They struck simultaneously at dozens of outposts and colonies. On the bridge of the ESS Avenger, Captain Carlos Ortiz watched as his ships engaged an Empire defense fleet. Remember, people, we're not just fighting for Earth now. We're fighting for every race the Empire has oppressed. The battle was fierce, but the humans had the element of surprise. Their ships, faster and more agile, ran circles around the Empire vessels. New weapons, like gravity disruptors and nanoswarm missiles, tore through Empire defenses. At one outpost, a group of aliens watched in awe as human ships destroyed the Empire's supposedly invincible defenses. These aliens, the Zinthar, had suffered under Empire rule for centuries. The Zinthar leader, Klex, made a decision. "Signal the human ships," he ordered. "Tell them we want to join their fight." Across the Empire, similar scenes played out. Races that had long resented the Empire's tyranny saw an opportunity in the human attack. Many chose to rebel, throwing their lot in with the newcomers who dared to challenge the Galactic Order. Back on the Empire's capital, the Emperor watched in disbelief as reports flooded in. Outpost after outpost was falling. Entire sectors were declaring independence and allying with the humans. This is impossible," he muttered. Zira stepped forward again. "Your Majesty, we need to sue for peace. The humans and their allies are too strong." But the Emperor's pride wouldn't let him accept defeat. "Never. We'll crush these humans and all who stand with them." As the Emperor prepared a counterattack, news of the human victory spread across the galaxy. On countless worlds, beings of all shapes and sizes watched in amazement. The humans, unknown just months ago, were reshaping the galactic balance of power. On Earth, the United Earth Council received reports of their fleet's success. Ambassador Harper, now head of alien relations, smiled as he read about their new allies. "We're not just fighting a war," he said. "We're starting a revolution." Admiral Rodriguez nodded. "But the real test is yet to come. The Empire will hit back hard. We need to be ready." As Earth celebrated its victories and prepared for the Empire's response, there was a sense of amazement at how far they'd come. From a single planet, unknown to the galaxy, they had become the champions of freedom for countless alien races. The war was far from over, but one thing was clear. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again. The Emperor of the Galactic Empire stood on the bridge of his massive flagship, the Eternal Dominion. His tentacles writhed with anger as he looked at the holographic display showing his fleet. It was the largest armada ever assembled in the history of the Empire. "The humans have gone too far," he growled. "We will crush them and their allies once and for all." The Empire fleet moved towards Earth, destroying everything in its path. The Emperor had decided to end this war by obliterating humanity's homeworld. On Earth, alarms blared as long-range sensors detected the approaching armada. Admiral Rodriguez rushed to the United Earth Defense Command Center. "How much time do we have?" she asked. "They'll reach our outer defenses in 6 hours," an officer replied. Rodriguez nodded grimly. "Send the signal. It's time for Operation Cosmic Web." Across the galaxy, Earth's allies received the message. The Zinthar, the rebel Empire worlds, and dozens of other races prepared their ships. Earth had united them not just against the Empire, but for a vision of a free galaxy. As the Empire fleet approached Earth, they found not just the human fleet waiting for them, but a massive coalition of alien ships as well. The Emperor's eyes widened in surprise. Impossible. How did they assemble such a force? The battle began. Space lit up with energy beams, missile trails, and explosions. The Empire's ships were powerful, but the coalition fleet was diverse and unpredictable. Each race brought unique technologies and tactics to the fight. On the ESS Defiant, Captain Yuki Tanaka coordinated with her alien allies. Zinthar cruisers focus on their left flank. Galactic ships use your phasing technology to get behind their lines. The Emperor watched in growing frustration as his fleet struggled. Enough. Prepare the planet killer. We'll destroy Earth and end this now. A massive ship, big enough to dwarf even the Eternal Dominion, moved forward. It began charging a weapon capable of shattering planets. Admiral Rodriguez saw the threat. All ships, focus fire on that planet killer. We can't let it fire. The Coalition fleet turned its attention to the massive ship, but its shields were too strong. The planet killer's weapon glowed brighter, nearly ready to fire. Suddenly, a small ship darted out from the Earth fleet. It was piloted by Dr. Sarah Chen, the physicist who had made breakthroughs in understanding alien tech. "Admiral, I'm going in," she said over the comm. "The reactor I developed should overload their systems." "It's too dangerous." Rodriguez protested, but Chen had already cut communication. Chen's ship, looking tiny next to the planet killer, managed to slip through a small gap in the shields. She piloted directly towards the massive weapon's energy core. "For Earth, and for a free galaxy," Chen whispered, activating the reactor. There was a blinding flash. The planet killer's energy core overloaded, setting off a chain reaction. The massive ship exploded spectacularly, taking out dozens of nearby Empire ships. The Emperor watched in disbelief as his ultimate weapon was destroyed by a single small ship. No, this can't be happening. With the planet killer gone, the tide of the battle turned. The Coalition fleet pressed their advantage, their morale soaring. Admiral Rodriguez, tears in her eyes for the sacrifice of Dr. Chen, rallied the fleet. "Push forward. For Earth, for freedom, for the future." The Eternal Dominion found itself surrounded. The Emperor's tentacles trembled not with rage now, but with fear. For the first time, he realized he might lose not just this battle, but everything. As Coalition ships closed in on the Eternal Dominion, the Emperor faced a choice: surrender or go down with his empire. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance as the battle raged on around the Emperor's flagship. Humanity and their allies stood on the brink of the victory that would reshape the cosmos forever. The Eternal Dominion, once the proud flagship of the Galactic Empire, drifted powerless in space. Inside, the Emperor's tentacles drooped in defeat as he watched his mighty fleet crumble before the combined forces of Earth and its allies. Admiral Rodriguez's voice crackled over all frequencies. "Emperor, your fleet is destroyed. Your empire is in ruins. Surrender now, and we'll spare the lives of your remaining forces." For a long moment, silence filled the airwaves. Then, in a voice heavy with disbelief and resignation, the Emperor spoke. "We surrender." Cheers erupted across the Coalition fleet. After months of brutal war, it was over. Humanity had faced the greatest power in the galaxy and emerged victorious. In the following weeks, representatives from Earth and all allied races gathered on a neutral planet to discuss the future of the galaxy. The Grand Hall was filled with beings of all shapes and sizes, a testament to the diversity of life in the universe. Ambassador Jack Harper, now speaking for all of humanity, addressed the gathering. "We stand at a crossroads," he said, his voice firm but kind. "We have the opportunity to build something new, something better than the Empire ever was." Flex, the Zinfar leader, nodded in agreement. "The humans showed us that unity and diversity can coexist. We should build on that." Discussions went on for days. Finally, a decision was reached. A new galactic federation would be formed, with all races having an equal voice. Earth, as the catalyst for this change, was asked to lead the formation of this new order. Admiral Rodriguez, watching the proceedings from Earth, smiled at the news. "We came to the stars as unknowns," she mused, "and now we're helping shape the future of the galaxy." The former Empire worlds were reorganized. Many chose to join the new federation, while others opted for independence. The Emperor himself was placed in custody, awaiting trial for his crimes against sentient beings. Zira, the young analyst who had warned the Empire about underestimating humans, was invited to join Earth's diplomatic corps. "Your insight could be invaluable in helping us understand other races," Harper told her. As news of the Federation spread, more races reached out, seeking to join. The galaxy was changing rapidly, and at the heart of it all was Earth. On Earth itself, Celebrations were tempered with a sense of responsibility. They had achieved something incredible, but the real work was just beginning. Dr. Chen, who had miraculously survived her suicide mission thanks to advanced emergency teleportation tech, spoke at a global address. "We've proven what humanity can do when united," she said. "Now we must use that same spirit to help build a better galaxy for all." In the years that followed, the galaxy saw unprecedented peace and progress. The Federation, guided by Earth's principles of freedom and cooperation, ushered in a new era of exploration and discovery. Earth's cities grew to include alien districts, while human colonies sprang up on distant worlds. The exchange of knowledge and culture enriched all races involved. Yet the humans never forgot the lessons of their sudden rise to galactic prominence. They maintained their innovation, their readiness, and their unity, knowing that the universe might still hold greater challenges. As Earth celebrated the 5th anniversary of the Federation's founding, Admiral Rodriguez, now retired, stood at a podium before a crowd of humans and aliens alike. 5 years ago, we were unknown to the galaxy, she said, her voice carrying across the hushed audience. We faced extinction and instead found our place among the stars. But our greatest achievement isn't our victory in war. It's the peace we've built since. She gestured to the diverse crowd. Look around you. This is the future we fought for. A galaxy united not in fear, but in hope. We may have started as unknowns, but together, we'll make sure the future is known to be bright for all. As the crowd cheered, fireworks lit up the sky, their colors reflecting off the hulls of ships from 100 worlds orbiting above. The message was clear. Humanity had not just survived its trial by fire. It had emerged as a beacon of hope for an entire galaxy. The unknown species that had once trembled at the approach of the Empire's scouts had become the architects of a new age. And the galaxy would never be the same again.